Hello, and welcome to Kinze Europe and Experience Kinze. I am Brian McCown, Executive Vice President for Kinze Manufacturing and Director of Kinze Europe. Let's get started today with a tour of our Kinze Europe facilities, followed by a short video from our founder and CEO, Mr. John Kinze.
The planting is the most important thing that a farmer does. So you find that not only is it important, but it's the operation that the owner himself is most apt to be doing. It's been simplified due to some of the complaints we get from a lot of guys, including myself. Make it simple so that it's easy to use. And here we got the screen showing what we're doing with the planter, but around the outside we got all the things we need to know or we need to change. I'm interested in the acres. If I punch this, it'll come up and put in the amount of seed in the right and left hand hoppers, and right now they're running almost equal. Shows me how many acres I can still plant. So it's got a lot of information, and to get rid of it you just tap it to get rid of that screen, or get it off the screen so it's not in the way of something else. Well, you got your automatic with your GPS. When you go into those end rows, I can drag it extra far, where I used to pull up and had to hit it just right, or stop and raise it to make the ends nice and clean and crisp, and that's a lot of effort. Where here, the automatic GPS shuts it off, and one of the things one of the goals is to get that end set up right, because you know your neighbor's going to be looking over the fence to see what you're doing, and they don't see what you do that's good as quick as they see what you do that makes a mistake.
Welcome back. We hope you enjoyed your tour of Kinze Europe. No other operation in the business of growing crops has more impact on your yield and your profit than planting. Few, if any, other factors in planting have as significant of impact on your yield and your profit than singulation. As a matter of fact, seed companies Pioneer and Monsanto each did studies on the effects of singulation on yield. Both studies came up with the same result. A 1% reduction in singulation can impact yield up to 1%. As a result of those studies, Kinze created this simple calculator to help you understand how the effects of singulation may impact your accuracy, your yield, and your profit. So just to simply walk through this, I set the price that I get when I sell my crops. Right now it's about 180 euros per ton, so I will set it at 180. I set the population that I'm going to plant my field at. I've got it set at 70,000 seeds per hectare. Germination I set, which means out of 100 seeds, how many will actually grow? So let's set that at 96%, meaning out of 100, 96 will actually emerge out of the ground. And what you feel like your planter is getting now. A lot of times we see our competitive planters are having about 4% skips. Agidius and Hermontis later today are going to show you how with the true rate meter we can meet 1% or less skips. So I will set it at 1%. And let's just see what the impact of 1,000 hectares is at those settings. And as you can see, a difference between 1% and 4% skips on 1,000 hectares is almost 43,000 euro in profit per year that you could be losing through skips and accuracy. Throughout our program today, Lymanus, Ermontis, Aegidius, and Andreas are going to show you how Kinze can help you increase your yield and your profit. They're going to show you what products we have to help you increase your yield and your profit. We're also going to talk to you about where you can find more information about Kinze products and how we can help you.
Hello and welcome one more time. My name is Andres. I am responsible for sales in Kinze Europe, and now you will see introduction of Series 05 planters upgrades, which will be done by my colleagues Brad and Eric. In this introduction you will see updates and upgrades for Series 05 planters, which will allow you to plant faster, do your job quicker. Also, planters will last much longer. And finally, you'll get more profit from that and from your business.
A lot of challenges that our customers have faced here at Kinze and in the industry for many years. There's been, not a lot of change from a Kinze row unit standpoint for 15 or 20 years, and expectations of our customers have changed. Expectations of uptime, expectations of cost of ownership, as Brad has talked to, and one of those problem areas in the industry is parallel arm wear and what parallel arm wear means to the customer. It's meaning in a lot of cases that my row unit as a whole the wear is going to be accelerated as I start to get more movement. I'm not going to get my consistent depth. I'm not going to get my consistent seed to soil contact and closing the furrow. A lot of guys today, because we don't offer anything, are going aftermarket when their arms wear out. And there's a better way to address this issue in the market, and we've looked at this very closely and developed a solution for that. Other problems, bearing wear or bearing life for our disc openers. We need to address that. Along with that, the hub itself, just the wear, the high speeds, the downforce that we're applying to these row units is different than it was 4, 5, 6 years ago, and we need to continue to develop and enhance the row unit and overall planter to ensure that we got the best package to make the customers happy. Other challenges, we've been adding a lot of equipment, features, technology to planters, and it has created a hydraulic mess, for Kinze planters and in the industry as a whole. And we've taken a really close look at how we can solve the problems, make it very easy for our customers, and lower the complexity of the overall solution. Planters are loud. We talk about vacuum, a 3600, 3660, those planter vacuum fans are the same they've been for 15, 20 years. And there's a more efficient, better way to do it. Nicer performing fan for customers. We talk about compaction, pinch row compaction. As planters are getting heavier, they're getting heavier. Weight is good if you're going fast. Weight is not so good if you're not going fast. And there's technology out there to spread the load with hydraulic weight transfer on the planters, but also ways to reduce the compaction on pinch rows so you don't have stunted root growth and poor yields. So the solution to address these concerns and more, Kinze 05 series planters.
Spend less time in the shop and more time in the field with the 05 series planter enhancements.
Double the acres between service intervals with upgrades to row unit wear points for improved durability and ease of maintenance. With an enhanced seed delivery system, plant more crop types, seed sizes, and increase your speed. True planting performance.
So some things that we have done with the 05 series across the board. Big changes to the row unit that doesn't just affect the 4905. It affects the 3505, the 3605 now, and the 3505. The first thing that we're going to talk about, disc opener bearings. We introduced the double row bearing on the 4900 last year, the 4700, but we're taking this double row bearing across the board for all the 05 series planters. So now we got disc wear life and bearing life that is a match, and we don't have one wearing out prematurely. Along with that, the hub and rivets themselves, we've had issues with rivets pulling out of the disc blade as we've gone faster, no-till, harder surfaces. We've increased the size of the rivets and have more contact area holding the hub to the disc blade. And we've also introduced a step in the process of building these where the hub itself is machined on the disc side. So when I pull all this together with our rivets, we don't have any wobbling, which would lead to premature bearing failure. So some good changes across the board for the 05 series. We also saw in the animation our scrapers. Longer life seed tube guard / scrapers for the 3005 series row unit, and then we have the 4005 series row unit for true rate meter and our mechanical meters, and then on this row unit up here and over on the stand for the true speed meter, we have a inner scraper that is a new design for the tube itself, and there's some tungsten carbide impregnated alloys in there, just to get the seed tube guard wear lasting long enough, double the life, to get guys through at least one season in severe conditions and maybe multiple seasons in maybe non-abrasive conditions. And then the last thing, the biggest perhaps for all of the 05 series planters, is the double bearing parallel arms. We now have a press-in bushing with an inner bushing. The pressed-in bushing is a harder material and the inner bushing a little bit softer. Oil impregnated, permanently dry lubrication for these bushings, and yes, they will wear, but we're expecting well over double the life. And the great thing, when your inner bushing wears as it should, the outer bushing does not. I can replace the inner bushing without having to replace my parallel arms. So I can keep everything tight, I can rebuild it. I don't have the cost of parallel arms if they go too far. I can keep that row unit performing to its highest degree and get that good, consistent seed depth, seed to soil contact, and not wear everything out. So it's a competitive advantage when we look at Deere. And Deere still has the old traditional, just one single bushing and parallel arms. So as planters get heavier, we start going faster, true speed, Deere's ExactEmerge. This is something that we can go talk to Deere customers about as being better and different that gives us a competitive advantage.
So Eric, if I have an older planter, so we talk about 05 series, and we have a lot of 3000 series, 4000 series out in the market, and I won't call my dad cheap, I'll use the word economically focused, and he doesn't want to purchase a new planter, can he put these row unit enhancements on his older unit?
Yes. So the good thing, these are backwards compatible. This is a 3005 or 05 series for the 3005 series row unit. It physically looks different, and we have enlarged the ends to accommodate the larger bushings and not have any failure modes in the end of the parallel arm itself, but they are backwards compatible to a 3005 series row unit. So if your dad, he is a little cheap,
economically focused.
Okay. If he wears out bushings and wants to replace it and go to something better, he can do that. What would really make sense is for the guy that has gone too far with his bushings and they've worn into his arms, he's got a choice to make. Do I put the old arms on or the new arm and bushings on? So yes, these are going to cost more because you have to buy a new arm. It's not just a bushing with the old arm. But if you're going to have, old style, new style, the net difference is what a guy will look at, and he can upgrade to this better solution for 3005 and 4005. And this fall, October-ish, these should be made available as a G1K kit, so you can go out to the field with guys that want to upgrade their planter with 05 series enhancements. There's more that we'll talk about you can do this with if they're not in the market for a new planter.
So parallel arms, inner scraper, seed tube, everything. Everything I can
all
put
backwards compatible, absolutely.
Okay, great.
Double row bearing, disc openers, all backwards compatible. The next one is our new entrainer. New entrainer for bulk fill. You guys will all get to see this afternoon or this morning. But this new entrainer allows us to certify 10 new crop types. They're listed in your book. Before we struggled with some crop types and rates. As we start talking 160,000, 170,000 for soybeans at 10, 11, 12 miles per hour, that's a lot of seed. And there are guys that will do that, and we've tested, and we can run that rate through this new entrainer. So we got a lot of new crop types supported, and it accommodates the rates that TrueSpeed is going to demand of the planter. Also comes, it's more efficient, requires less air to move the seed, the same rate of seed that the previous generation entrainer would have required. Again, the great thing, Brad, it's backwards compatible, right?
Backwards compatible. Retrofittable, right? So I can
Yep.
put it on an old unit?
That's right.
Awesome.
Hi, my name is Laimonas. I'm marketing manager. I'm glad to introduce to you another very exciting part of our event. In a moment, Kinze Manufacturing Senior Product Manager Brad will lead you through 2021 Blue Vantage novelties. For those of you who don't know what it is, Kinze Blue Vantage, I will briefly introduce it to you. This is extremely easy to use and the most intuitive planter control display on the market. Using this unique device, farmers in 3 simple clicks can start planting. They can fully control how planter operates. They can change planter settings while planting. This is device created by Kinze for Kinze to help farmers to maximize planting accuracy, efficiency, and to get more profit from farming operations. Before Brad will talk about specific features of this device, please see short video with the real feedback from farmer about this unique device.
I'm not computer minded. I never grew up with computers. I don't even have a smartphone, but I can run this. Time out here, you have so many days to get this crop in the ground. It gets the job done quicker when you have something that's simple and easy to run. Anymore, they're saying these beans, to get them in the ground early is 10 bushel yield better, which is great. We need every penny we can get out here because it's really stressful with the farming right now. And there's nothing we can do about it. You just got to live with the times and hopefully it gets better. It's showing me what I've planted, where I'm planting, my speed, my acres I've planted. It just shows a lot of information. It's showing me my population, which is very critical. You want to get the right population all the time because the amount of seeds in the ground make a lot of difference in your yield, and yield is money. I would recommend it to anybody that it's one of the best products on the market. It's definitely an advantage for us farmers. It's a thing of the future. You can rely on, no matter what the trash situation is, what the ground situation is, the Kinze will put it in the ground. And I'm comfortable with that, and that's what you need. You need these seeds in the ground on contact where they're doing you good.
Hi, Brad, Product Specialist here at Kinze, and today we're going to talk about model year 21 features that have been added to our Kinze Blue Vantage display. And in keeping with really the easiest to use display in the market, we've added more features this year from an integration standpoint and a lot from customers like you to really enhance the experience. So let's kind of dive in. Interface to get us to our task setup, and these are just, again, general fields that we've planted already. We're going to make a new field for this example, and we're going to hit add, and really not a whole lot has changed on this task setup page from previous years. The big item though, and another big feature add for us this year, is the integration of our hydraulic true depth downforce. And on our pressures box up here, if we tap on that, it takes us into where our pneumatic down pressure has previously resided. Now we have our settings for true depth hydraulic downforce. So we can have some general settings. We can see we have our 3 presets, and then we also have the ability to easily change away from those presets to really dial it into your ground conditions in the field. So a lot of flexibility, but we've moved and now have true depth integration for model year 21. The nice part about, again, any of our software updates is they are backwards compatible and are always free. So as we release this software for this coming spring and planting season of 21, if you had a standalone downforce system, you could upgrade and integrate your true depth into your current Blue Vantage equipped planter. So we have our downforce option, we have our settings here, really nothing else we need to change. Again, a simple layout, anything you need to set for your planter is still there like we've always had for the last several years. And we're going to go to our plant screen. So again, general layout, this planter or this demo version like we have here is set up for a high-speed planter. So this is what a high-speed planter user interface would look like. The nice part about Blue Vantage though is, again, no matter if it's high-speed or standard true rate vacuum meters, the user interface is exactly the same. If we look at our layout of the screen, again, very similar to what we've had for several years. Of course, the biggest difference is we've added that true depth feature. And now we have true depth mapping from ground contact, applied force, and sense force are all mapped row by row on our screen as we're planting through the field. So for this year, we now have the ability to select all of our different map layers by tapping on that box in the upper right-hand corner. You can see all of the layers that we have access to see on this field. Of course, we have our 3 additional maps for true depth. And to select any one of those maps, we simply hit, for example, our ground contact percentage. We're going to press on that, and now we have our ground contact map. Again, mapped row by row, and of course you get a row by row ground contact map as well. If we want to change to another downforce map, we simply select our selection at the upper right. We hit applied force, for example. We know how much downforce, again, we're applying row by row, real time on our mapping screen. We tap on our box again. We then can change, again, our map selection. You can see the pencil icon just to the right of all of those boxes, and that allows you to change multitude of configurations and settings. So for example, if we reference our true depth downforce settings, we can go to our pencil next to it, and it takes us back to the setup page that we saw earlier in task setup. Hit our checkbox to get back. We tap on this box again. We hit our pencil there. Now we can change our population. If we go back, we hit this again. You can see there's a separate pencil next to hybrid, and we can hit the pencil here. Now we can change our hybrids in the middle of the field as well without leaving that main home screen. It's only one click away. So really streamlined the operation of changing products that we've had from last year as well. Hit our checkbox, and we're right back to our main plant page. Another unique item, if we change to, let's say, a population box or actual applied rate, We have added true depth, but another nice feature for giving you the information in the field is a feature we call True Point. And what that means is you can tap anywhere on the page or on the screen, and it will give you information on that exact location in the field. So for example, when we tapped on this spot, we see that we had a applied rate of 35,020 seeds an acre. Our target rate was 35,000. We can see this example in this demo mode has equipped with fertilizer. So we can see that we had a target rate of 5. We were applying 5. This is referencing row 12 on the planter. We have insecticide configured, so we can see our insecticide is working. And then all of our downforce information, so ground contact, applied force, and sensed force for row 12 is right there. You tap it once, and you're right back to the plant page. So if you had any different colored area, again, we're mapping row by row, you can easily and simply tap on the location that is maybe a different color and see exactly what was going on that location in the field. So you can identify any potential problems or issues in the field, make adjustments, and again, get back to planting quickly and easily. So True Point mapping is, again, another feature for model year 21. So we tap away. That box goes away. Same features as we've always had. We still have the ability, just like your smartphone or tablet, because that's what Blue Vantage is, a high-definition tablet. You have one finger to move your map around, and then, of course, pinch and zoom to zoom in and out of your map. Of course, use our center icon, and we bring our icon back to the center. Overall, main run speed changes or run changes, those are the big feature changes for model year 21. So true depth, downforce with mapping, so you have one display for every feature on the planter. We also added True Point for that high definition mapping component into the screen, so you can really dive in if there was one spot in the field that wasn't performing well. You know exactly how or what was going on with the planter at that exact location. So some run screen enhancements, and of course, as we talked earlier, our map selection changes also have changed slightly, just allows you easily to change what you want to see real time, and of course make those setting changes as well just by pressing on that pencil icon on the right hand side. Another feature we've added due to really customer feedback is really related to section control. And under settings, we of course have our easy to use section control adjustment, where you just go out and measure the distance that you want to move the seed, and we simply move the seed for you. So you just simply tell us, hey, I want the seed to start 6 inches earlier than our default 0 setting, and Blue Vantage takes care of the rest. So really easy to set section control. One thing we've added with section control, though, at the bottom of this screen is this feature that's called Outer Rows Locked. And what that does, of course, with Blue Vantage and Blue Drive, we have single row shutoff performance. And realize that depending on your GPS signal quality, conditions of the field, terrain, that might be too aggressive, especially as you get into narrow row configuration. So we now have this on-off switch that allows you to turn on outer rows locked, which means the outside 2 rows are tied together when you're driving through the field. So you can overlap farther before those rows shut off. So it's just the outside 2 rows. Once you get past those 2, it's back to single row shutoff performance. And to turn it on and off, it's of course as simple as just pressing that on-off switch. So another, again, model year 21 enhancement, and that rounds out section control adjustments. So those are kind of the changes on the run screen side. Some other enhancements we've made, again, with feedback from you guys as users in the field, other kind of behind the scenes and kind of nice to have features. So if we go back out of our task and we go back to the home page, under our manage icon in the lower left hand corner, if we tap on there, we've added some more feature sets into our managing. And really the biggest one is with this counters capability. What this counters allows you to do is make acre counters for really whatever you want it to be. So for example, we have 3 of them already put in here. The big request was just to have a general acre counter that allows you to keep track of, for example, a maintenance item. So we have one in here that's vacuum seals. All right, so if we had a customer or you guys replace vacuum seals, you've run for several years, we went and checked the seals, you're not quite sure how many acres you put on those. We can come in and say, hey, we have 76 acres, for example, on the vacuum seals. Another good example from a service piece would be split rows and non-split row applications. Obviously, your rear rows are running all the time, no matter if you're planting corn or beans. Of course, the split rows aren't running all the time and only used in a bean situation. You could come in here and set up an acre counter just when you plant beans or have the front rows down and turn it on and off. You can change the wording, you can name them whatever you so choose, you can reset them. So a lot of enhanced features and a little more flexibility for you as a user to add, again, unique acre counters for whatever you want to keep track of. Maybe it's total amount of custom acres, etc. So a lot of flexibility, so this counters feature is now added for model year 21. The other item under our basic reports tab, one thing I kind of wanted to highlight on there is we've had a lot of guys ask for the ability to see how many acres by crop I planted annually. And we've added that crops report feature into model year 21 as well. And we can see that by selecting our season. So in this case, if we select 2020 planting season, we can see our crops report up here. We can press on the view and the system will automatically generate this report for us. And it'll show us that, hey, in 2020, we planted 81.9 acres of corn. So we break it down by crop. And as you can see underneath, we break it down by grower, farm, and field as well. So this is a simple PDF report that we can export from the display and just simply print it off on any desktop computer, any computer, and have this information instantly without using any desktop software. So a new enhancement just from the crops report. We still have continued with our planting report information, which allows you, again, a PDF document of all of our planting functions. And with the addition of true depth, and if we look at our planting report, for example, as it generates all of our different map layers. So when we were going through on the run page in the plant screen, you could see all of our different map selections. This basic report page has allowed us to really add more maps to that information. So, for example, we now have, obviously, acres planted per field. We give you acres per crop. So if you planted multiple hybrids, it would show acres per hybrid. Of course, this example, we have fertilizer and insecticide, so it shows us that information as well. You can see all the tabs at the bottom of the screen, and if we just simply hit the arrow to the right, we see that we have a planting report. And this is the map that we saw earlier on the plant screens. We have our percent to target map, our population applied map, our singulation map, our product map, fertilizer target, fertilizer rate, and fertilizer product, insecticide applied, and then we get into our downforce maps as well. So we have, again, the same map that you would see on the plant screen. As we toggle through that, we went from ground contact, now we're on applied force, now we're on sensed force, as we round out all of the maps that the system gives us. So again, same rule applies where we go back here, we select the task that we have. It allows us to insert a USB and then export this report onto the USB drive. And just like that crops report with acres, the same rule applies here where you can take it to any computer, print those maps off, and you have them in your hand without any desktop software and without requiring anybody to do that kind of layout and work for you. It's all built in to the Blue Vantage display. So a lot of neat enhancements as we get into model year 21. Again, the nice part with Blue Vantage being really the easiest on the market is that software update process. We talked about earlier that software update is free. It's on our public website at kinze.com. The update process takes less than a minute. You download it onto a USB drive and either plug it into the dock itself, or if you have the tablet out of the dock. And again, a nice feature with Blue Vantage is you can take the tablet out of the dock and simply insert the USB into the side of it in the shop or in the office and have the software update performed well before you ever hook to the planter. So a lot of neat features in model year 21, again enhancing what we're basing and building off of Blue Vantage and Blue Drive. Excited to see what model year 22 comes to us in the future.
Hi, I'm Egidius, Service Team Lead at Kinze Europe. As Brian told already about how important planting accuracy is to your profit, we want to show a two-rate vacuum meter today. Two-rate vacuum meter is very precise, simple to adjust, and easy to use. I would like to present a short introduction video on vacuum meter technology, and later my colleague Girmantas will go through meter components and will demonstrate meter performance on our test stand. Enjoy it!
Here's the new reality. Seed costs aren't going down. Farming operations are getting larger. Planting seasons aren't getting any longer. There's simply no margin for error during the planting season. Durability, speed, precision. The new Kinze 4000 series row unit and vacuum meter were designed for these new realities. Kinze's new 4000 series row unit features rugged cast iron construction, ideal for no-till fields. Plus, with 12 inches of vertical travel, each row unit maintains consistent depth control across the entire planter. To further improve speed and accuracy, the Kinze 4000 series row unit features a patent-pending, field-tested vacuum metering system capable of achieving 99+% accuracy at speeds of up to 8 miles per hour as field conditions allow. It starts with a smaller diameter seed disc with more cells turning at a slower speed through the seed pool, which reduces skips and improves spacing accuracy by minimizing seed bounce in the tube. The new 4000 series vacuum meter gently channels each seed, singulating and positioning each one on a seed cell at the edge of the disc. Then, each seed is dropped precisely at the 3 o'clock position of the disc, directly into the center of the seed tube opening. A uniquely shaped seed pool ensures cells are supplied with seed until completely gone. The easy-to-use singulator can be quickly adjusted for different types and sizes of seed, including corn, soybeans, sugar beets, milo grain sorghum, and sunflowers. The 4000 series vacuum meter is available with contact drive, but also available is the unique patent-pending electric drive, which eliminates moving parts like drive shafts, chains, and gearboxes. This allows you to adjust population rates infinitely by row and maintain perfect seed spacing, even on turns when outside rows travel much farther and faster than inside rows. Every vacuum meter on every row unit is independently driven, powered by individual high-torque 24-volt electric drive motors, which are fully sealed and protected from dust and moisture, even when pressure washed. Simplicity, consistency, accuracy, high performance, reliability. Greater yield potential through better planting performance. This is Kinze Innovation.
Hi, my name is Irmantas. I am service representative here at Kinze. Now I will go through major components of our seed meter. So why we believe this is the best meter on the market. It has 99+ accuracy at speeds up to 13 km per hour, mechanical and electrical drive options, long life expectancy. We will see that on our test stand today. Now we are going to go all over components of the meter itself. Meter housing, housing vents, release latch, seal, singulator, disc, ejector, and electric motor. Each row is independently driven. 24 volts means more torque at less amps. Now we can physically look at the meter and we can see all of the slots in the meter housing, front and back. This is to maximize our vacuum flow across the meter. With the amount of breathing vents this meter has, we do not have to be concerned about the meter getting trash and plugging it up. It maximizes the airflow. Let's take this meter apart. On the top of the meter, there's a little tab that you push down on, and you can rotate the vacuum housing, and it lifts right off. So, looking inside of the housing that we have here, the first thing we see is this white seal. This is our vacuum seal. It is easy to get it out. Just grab a hold of it and just peel it out. If sometime in the future you will need to replace it, it's really easy job to do. Vacuum seal life expectancy is around 240 or 360 hectares per row. While we are looking at the meter housing, we can notice this little spiked wheel down at the bottom. This is our ejector. Purpose of this little wheel is to ride along on the backside of the disc, and if a little piece of trash gets caught in that hole, it will poke it out to make sure every pocket is getting vacuumed and every pocket gets seed. There are different ejectors and they are color-coded to your seed disc. Let's say corn disc that is blue will have blue ejector wheel. So when it is time to change crop, we are not only changing the seed disc, but ejector also. Life expectancy of the ejector wheel is up to 200 hectares per row. There are several seed discs, one for each crop. They are different in colors and in the amount of seed cells. Disc and cells refer to population targets showed in the operator's manual. We now have seed discs for corn, soybean, edible bean, sunflower, sugar beet, cotton, rapeseed, and wheat. Let's remove our disc now. All we do is twist the black knob in the center and the disc just lifts right off, out of the meter. Now we can physically look inside of the meter. Down at the bottom is our little gear for our electric motor. As mentioned before, it is 24 volts stepper motor. A stepper motor doesn't have any brushes inside that could wear out. It's driven by magnetic force. Up at the top of our meter is our singulator. The singulator has specific adjustments for different crops. Descriptions which singulator settings to use you can find in your operator's manual. We know that for corn setting will be 2. Each numeric setting has 3 different positions. These are needed to fine-tune our singulator if we have smaller or larger seeds than average. So, to set your meter is really easy. You will fill seeds, set your singulator, set vacuum setting according to manual, and you're ready to go. I'm pretty sure that the meter will perform really well after such small adjustments, but don't forget to double check it in the field that everything is working properly. If you get any trash in your meter, it is really easy to remove your singulator and clean the meter. The singulator does have wear components. It is our upper and lower plastic pieces. They're easily replaceable and you don't have to buy a full singulator assembly. Lifetime expectancy of our singulator is up to 360 hectares per row. And now we will show how this meter performs on our meter test stand. Kinze test stand is designed for testing seed meters, their troubleshooting and finding the right settings for planting before leaving to the field. Before we go to the settings on the test stand monitor, we need to set our singulator first. We have 3 positions and each position has its own aggressiveness. That is, in our case, we are planting corn. We can make it the setting for corn more aggressive or make it less aggressive. We always start with the average value. When the settings for our meter are done, let's go to the monitor. The main screen for working with the test stand is working screen where we simulate operation of a planter in the field. In order to start working with the test stand, we go to the test settings sections and select culture first. This can be corn, soybeans, sunflower, sugar beet, milo, edible bean, cotton, popcorn, sweet corn, and other. In our case, we choose corn. After that, we choose the type of the seed meter, mechanical, vacuum, or vacuum with electrical drive. In our case, this will be vacuum with electrical drive. If you know the name of the hybrid, we can enter this information in a special window and then set the current settings of our singulator. In our case, it will be 2.2. And then we go to the setting sections of the planter. Seed disc number, 40 cells per disc, row spacing 70 centimeters, test length 1000 seeds, speed 13 kilometers per hour, population 70,000 seeds per hectare. We need also to set vacuum level, which we'll be using on the planter later. Let's start with the value 40. When all settings are entered, we select Run Test. We wait until the vacuum level equalizes to the value we have set earlier. Once system is initialized, the test screen is opened and the test begins. During the test, we see on the left side of the screen rotation speed of disc and vacuum level. In the middle screen, we see target disc rotation speed, target population, and target planting speed. Single agent section represents the percentage of single seeds released by the seed meter at correct time. Skips, doubles section provides data for missing seeds and doubles. If the seed tube sensor detects two seeds close together, then it counts as a double. If the seed tube sensor detects nothing, it counts as a skip. As you can see, in our case, we have 0.3% of skips and 0.2% of doubles. Section that is located below shows seed spacing and COV. COV is the measurement of how well the meter is releasing speed and the variation of the seed spacing that results. Accordingly, if we are not satisfied with the results, we can increase or decrease vacuum, correct settings of singulator until we get the best performance of seed meter. Test stand enables us to find the right planting settings in stationary conditions without going to the field. The test log screen shows setup information and results from the previous test run. This information can either be saved as a PDF file and loaded onto a USB drive, saved onto the computer, or printed. If we talk about the work of seed meter itself, the test stand completely simulates the design of planter and row unit. The seed meter is the same that we use on the regular planter. There is a seed tube, same as on the planter. The device can test vacuum seed meters, mechanical meters, and meters with electrical drive. Majority of Kinze dealers have test stands at their dealerships. Please contact them for meter testing. The most important thing when planting various crops is to use the original Kinze graphite. To achieve best results and performance of the system, original graphite is strongly recommended. Thank you for your attention.
Thank you for being with us. Thank you for interest in Kinze. And don't forget to contact your dealers for best deals on Kinze planters till end of November. You will also get offer for extended payment terms. If you have more questions or comments, just post them in Facebook comment section. Thank you very much for being with us.